Hurry! Hurry! Yes! Woohoo! Yeah! That's a great one. Woo! Check it out! Check that guy out.
Oh, beautiful.
Hold it.
No.
Here.
No.
You want to become trout? You have to eat it to become it. You gonna hold it?
I don't want to.
I was joking.
Okay, good.
Alright, let's go throw it on the fire. We can cook ourselves a trout over the grill. Okay, so we are going to cook this. That is an afterthought. I may still do it. You'll have to keep watching and see if we do it.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, so trout.
Awesome,
And
Peppa.
Alright, let's clean this guy up. Well, we're lost.
Great.
So this is kind of an ice fishing trip gone wrong. We've got a little bit of gear with us, and thing is, it snowed all day, all morning, and we can't figure out where we're going. So what we have to do is get in the woods now, and we decided to stick it out and wait till tomorrow morning to pack out, and or wait for rescue. But we do have some supplies with us, a little bit of ice fishing gear, fire starting gear. We'll go through that in a second. And we do have lunch. Think about that. I don't know if that looks like what it's supposed to look like, but that's a snowshoe hare I caught in a snare, and that's going to be our food for today. Unless we can catch some fish. What do you think?
One or the other.
This is Courtney. She's my wife.
Hi.
We've been together for
Almost 20 years.
almost 20 years. As sad as that sounds. All right, let's get out of the wind and get into the bush. We'll make a shelter and get a fire going.
Sounds good.
I'll show you what kind of gear we have to work with. So this video is all about creating order from disorder. You know, we live in a disorganized world and a natural world, and it's all about creating tameness so that we can enjoy comforts that nature can provide. So this is about taking all the things around us and creating comfort. So I brought my wife out for a particular reason. I wanted to show you that you can use teamwork in your relationships with women. So talking to the men out there, and to the girls, I want you guys to know that you're capable of doing this stuff too. And this is like a captain first mate relationship, because my wife is really good at certain things, but being outdoors is not one of her main things. She likes being outside, but she likes the more tame things about being outside. So this is about providing those tameness, providing that tameness for her and those creature comforts for her so that she's comfortable when she goes outside. So this is a provisionary thing, and she's going to be taking guidance from me to figure out what it is that she needs to do. She's well aware that she doesn't have the outdoor skills that I do, so I'm going to be conveying that to her about what she needs to be doing throughout the challenge. And I'll be doing probably the most amount of grunt work, brute force, cutting wood, and she's going to be doing the smaller things, smaller tasks, but equally important tasks such as life to get things done. So you can work as a team, and that's the kind of relationships you should foster with your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend if you're out there. So the girls, this is the kind of thing that you want to find in men, is men who are able to take nature, which is generally disordered, and create order from it, building structures, creating fire. These are things that man was tasked to do through our evolution, to provide order and create abundance so that we could flourish and provide for our children. And without this, we can't do it. And it's the same thing in our modern world. Although the tasks are different, we still need to collaborate, and we still need to have a captain first mate relationship. I'm going to talk more about this a little bit later, about how the captain first mate man-woman relationship works, and how it's a really productive way to carry on your life. So join us, and I want you to keep those themes in mind as you see what it is, what we're doing, and the different tasks we have assigned ourselves based on our capabilities. We're about 20 yards in from the woods, and I found myself the perfect spot right here. This is the perfect spot to set up a shelter. We have a giant rock face, and then down below is a great area to get out of the elements. And we build a fire out front here in this area, and all the heat that will be generated will be collected in the rock and reflect back on us. A lot of people make the mistake of putting their fire on the front here and then sitting in front of the fire, but then your back is all exposed over here, so you end up getting cold. So what we're going to do is build a shelter over top here, just something really simple to break the front part of the wind, and we'll build a fire out front. For our gear, we have a kid's plastic shovel. I have my bow drill kit, bow and bottom board, baseboard. I have a knife. I have 2 stainless steel pots. We have a little small axe or hatchet, if you prefer. Little axe. An axe. And we have a blanket. So from here, we need to make shelter. So shelter's gonna be first. Courtney's gonna dig out the snow here. It's a job for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go out, I might go out on the lake and start chipping myself a hole. Not a very standard tool for getting through the ice. It's actually very cumbersome, and I might get wet doing it. But it's what we got. Even though we're out here ice fishing, it's kind of a weird thing. We don't have a better tool to get through the ice, but hey, that's how it worked out. We just forgot the auger. Okay, so you're gonna take a shovel over here.
Yes.
We're gonna put this back in the bag so it doesn't get too wet.
Okay.
Until we build a shelter, and you're gonna dig out. Got it?
That's good. I can do that.
All right.
Okay, so do you just want me to dig all the way down to the bottom, as far as I can go?
Yeah. Well, see, it's nice and dry in here.
Yeah.
Underneath there. We can actually tuck in there. We probably don't need very much of a shelter. All we need to do is cover this kind of area here.
Right.
But it's dry down there, really, really dry. And it's gonna, as the heat comes up, it's gonna get captured and then come down here and heat that rock up, which is exactly what we want. So what we want to do is get down to dirt here, because if we make a fire on top of the snow, what'll happen is, as it melts, yeah, some of it's gonna come down the hill, which is good, but a lot of it is going to put out the ashes and coals, and we want to build up a nice big bed of ash and coal over the day so that it's heated up at night. So yeah, we need to take all this snow out completely down to the bottom, like as if you're raking. That's the most efficient way of the wood that we're going to burn today. So
okay,
get to it. Easy job for you?
Well, we'll see. Right now it seems easy.
All right. A bit of a secret, guys. I got an extra challenge I'm working on up here, and I'm gonna let you guys know, but I'm not gonna let Courtney know, because obviously that would spoil it. But we've been together for probably 20 years. We've been together about 20 years, and we did an overnight camp in a Quincy on the other side of the lake, New Year's. It's about New Year's right now, just a little bit past. And we also did a spring overnighter over here. And it was a cold day. And I guess my challenge then, you know, as a young man, was to make her comfortable enough to, you know, the ultimate survival challenge, if you get my drift. So I'm going to see, while we're doing all this, if I can get to that point where she's warm and comfortable. And as a man, that's exactly what you're designed to do. So we've done a little talk before on the squirrel hunt video about masculinity, but this is what men were designed to do. Work against nature, or the forces of nature, to build comfort. And yes, my wife will be doing a lot of work today and helping me, but men were designed to build structures so that women can be comfortable, and then men can gain favor from them. And if they do it really well and they provide, so we're looking at providing a meal today too, that men will gain favor. And there's nothing wrong with that type of arrangement, because it works for men and for women. So I'm going to keep this between you and me, and I'm not gonna kiss and tell. So we'll see how this video ends out, or this day ends out for me. We'll see if I am able to conquer nature. So while my wife is digging us out a nice little house, being homekeeper, I am going to try to get through the ice. We have probably 10 to 12 inches of ice. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've ever cut ice with an axe, you know it's not the easiest thing in the world. Plus, once you get down to the bottom, the last little bit of ice, once you get through, wants to bubble up. The water down below the ice surface wants to push up and out. So you have to do it very carefully. So you're gonna, if you ever do it, you're gonna do it in a concentric circles. You're gonna go around and around and around. You're gonna start with a big wide hole, just like you're digging a hole in the dirt, and then you're gonna get narrower and narrower. But if you start off real tiny, you're not gonna be able to get down very deep because you're gonna start hitting the edges. So let's get going. Let's see how long this takes. So now we're getting close because the ice down here is turning black. And black ice is relatively thin ice. It doesn't always mean it's thin, but it's a good indication in this case because we turned from an opaque colored ice to a black colored ice. So what I want to do is be very careful to chip evenly around here, because once I finally get through, that water is going to come all the way up. And you can imagine if there's a big puddle here and I'm hitting with the axe down, all that water is going to be flying up in my face and on my snowsuit, getting me wet and cold. And I don't want to do that. That'd be the last thing I want to do. Oh! I don't want to start a new hole. I just need to figure out where exactly I need to chip around. You really want to make sure you hold on to this, or else it's going all the way down the bottom and you'll never see it again. Okay, you want some feedback?
Sure. I think I did well.
It's a good start.
Okay.
You're probably not strong enough to pull these out, but I'll get rid of that because we don't want to be sitting on anything. I would use my mitts and go down even further.
Okay.
And use my hands as a rake, and then I would pull back like this stuff here, which might melt on the edges.
Yeah.
And then anything down here that might fall in here. Like
Okay.
this is pretty good, right?
I did some of that.
I don't know if you could see, but
Yeah, and look, I uncovered this rock. Sweet, eh?
yeah, no, this is like you could lay in here and you'd be fine if you had a fire right there, reflecting all this edge here is gonna get super warm. I mean, it's not big enough for two people.
Oh,
but
sure it is.
all right, come on in. Yeah, very
Comfy.
very comfy. All right. Feeling claustrophobic. And one more thing we forgot is Courtney's got bells in her pocket for a reason. They're part of the ice fishing gear, which we didn't go over. So now that I've got a hole made, I think I'll set a line now, because the thing about fishing is line in the water, right? As longer you have your line in the water, the greater chance you have of catching a fish. So since we're going to be busy doing a lot of work here, we might as well set a line. We can put the bells on it. You want to show the bells?
Yep.
So just little Christmas bells here. And if you get a big enough fish on there, you can hear that for a fair distance. And I'm going to show you how a really simple way to fish with these bells and a stick. Okay, good. So I think you're gonna do what next there?
Sweep it out.
Oh, scoop it out.
Limits,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you already started collecting a little bit of
Oh yeah.
kindling.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna continue doing that, right?
Yes.
Good stuff? Are you warm or cold?
I'm warm, except for my toes. But that's normal.
Okay. Well, we'll have to do something about that. We need a good fire going.
Yeah.
So this is a good stick for ice fishing rig. So we're gonna bust this off. Just a little whippy sapling. All I did is snapped it and it pulled it back on itself. Might as well leave these little branches here. So we're just pulling off all the branches off the main stem. We don't need any of those. So we got a little whippy stick. Let's get back out on the lake. I'll show you this real quick. All it is a mess of little hooks. I use number 4, but it doesn't really matter. They're just little J hooks. Real simple. You know, you can hold a bait holder hook and a little tiny split shot. Very, very small. That's it. That's all you need for trout. There's, I believe, some splake in this lake, so we could give that a shot. The only other thing that we need, besides the hook and sinker, is some line. Just some. I use 6-pound test line, that's plenty. You don't need anything bigger than that. That'll catch most fish, unless you're going for something like pike. At the end of the line here, we get our hook, and we're gonna tie that on. So the truth of the matter is, I only know about 3 different knots, and one of them is a fishing knot. So, you're not gonna be able to see what I'm doing here, but you're gonna know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm taking the hook, and I'm going to twist it around and around and around and around and around and around and around. I do this about 8 times. Then I'm going to drop that, and I'm going to find the tail end of the line. This is really simple guys. Okay, watch. So I made a loop here down by the hook end, and that tends to open up on you, so that's what you want. You're going to go through that, and you're going to keep it all straight here. Okay, keep it at, bend it. And now you've made another loop. So you've made one loop here, back to the same loop here. To the first loop, to the loop you just made. And then you're gonna grab the tail end again, never let go of the tail end. And you're gonna pull tight. And then that's gonna cinch down on itself. A little bit of spit, like it's slippery. And that locks down on itself right there. And this is a trick. Kids, don't do this. It's really bad for your teeth. But fishermen don't always have stuff to cut with. Use your front teeth there, they just bite. There you go. And over time, your teeth are going to chip away like mine. So there you go. Real simple. Split shot, we're going to put it up 6 inches up from that. And we are going to tip this with a little chub minnow. So you can see, just in that little bit of time, that ice is already frozen back up. That's how cold it is out here. So your split shot, 6 inches up. And you don't want to put your hand in the water, break that ice. Just use your foot. Bust it up. You should have good waterproofing boots on, or waterproof boots. There we go. So we got to rig this up so that it doesn't fall down. This is going to be our tip up. It's basically more or less going to sit like that, and we're going to tie onto this end and drop the minnow down. And then when we have a fish, of course it's going to bounce up and down, and we'll be able to hear it in the woods. But what we need to do is make a nice big mound of snow over here and get it wet to hold this up just a little bit higher. Because the higher it is, the better, because it gives a bit more whip, and you can see it from a distance too. So the minnow we just hook just behind the head here. Drop that down. Once the line goes slack here, you know we got the bottom, and then we're just gonna pull up a little bit, and we're gonna loop it around here. And our bell, I'm gonna make sure we don't drop this in the lake. Tie on here, and then we want this to be tight up against the stick, so that get a fish, it'll bounce. And that's it, we're fishing now. Wait, shelter's all dug out. Courtney did a good job on that. And we need a couple ridge poles to go over to start building the shelter. That one will do. Oh, should have done the hood up. Sometimes things just engineer themselves. Okay, so here's the basic structure. We have our main beam, we have a secondary beam over here to shelter on this side here, and we have one coming across this side, and we've tied off to a tree over here, and then from there, just back up here, we can see the full structure here. Now I can go from here across to make some trusses, and then on top of the trusses we can lay down a roof of spruce. If we can find enough to cover the top, we'll be all set. And then our fire is going to lay down there where my gloves are, in that area here. Smoke will come up, and then we'll have a nice warm area down in this space here. We got a roof, we got a wall, now we got a frame of a roof. We still got to fill this all in, which is going to be tricky because we're a little bit short on the kind of spruce that we need. So we're going to do our best and see how it turns out. It's pretty cool when you get a piece that just works. Watch this, we're going to go under this one, over the other one, over here, put it in there, and then slide it down. Perfect. So it's locked in here, 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 here. I've only used one rope this entire time, one rope there. This is, as you know, that's our first ridge. This is over on the other, on the ground over here. These ones are wedged up underneath here, and then they're locked in by branches here. So we're making a nice tight structure. We'll put one more over here, and that'll form our canopy. And Courtney's got some spruce tops, because it's fairly sheltered here. It's mostly the top part of the trees here that get the sunlight, and they end up green. So if we're in a more open area, then we might have some thicker spruce, but now they're spindly at the bottom, so we're gonna have to work a little bit harder to get those rooftop pieces that we need. Anyway, so that's how it's gonna go, like that. So obviously we need a lot of them before, you know, the snow just goes through and the heat as well.
I'm taking all the branches off to use on top of our structure for protection from the wind and the snow. This will be nice when it's done.
The idea is to fill it in so you can't see sunlight, which is pretty tricky because there's always going to be sunlight.
It's looking pretty good, don't you think?
Looks like a roof.
It does. It smells good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Smell Christmassy?
It sure does.
Getting there. How's it going?
Great.
Working?
Yeah, I'm warm.
All right, here's a load of boughs. We're gonna use this for our bedding. We've got our roof taken care of. We need something to insulate ourselves from the cold ground, and as it melts, all that water is gonna, or the snow is gonna turn to water rather, we don't want to be sitting on it. Anybody's gonna complain about cutting these boughs down, just save it. What we're doing is cutting some of the lower branches off, and the trees, you know, they're not getting a lot of sunlight from the lower branches anyway. So it's not hurting the trees as severely as you might think, and nature recovers. That's exactly what it's designed to do. So in a couple years, they'll probably notice no difference. And animals are out here picking twigs and buds, and that's not damaging the trees either. As long as they have time to recover, they will. And you know, you can see around me, it's pretty much undisturbed out here. So the impact that we make is pretty small. So anyway, let's grab this big load, and we'll spread it out on the bottom, and we'll have a nice bed. Cozy?
Very.
You got sticks in your beard.
Oh.
Sticks in my beard. Alright. So we've done a pretty good job getting down to the bottom, but it's still, you know, there's still some water in here, although it's in frozen form. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the back. Courtney's already started back there under the rock, which is gonna be the warmest part, so we can tuck in there. And then the rest of it, we're just gonna work our way back out and tie these in nicely so that we have a little bit of loft. Obviously the more the better. If we can get, you know, if we get 8 inches, that'd be great. But that's probably not gonna happen today because this is a short-term thing. And we actually don't wanna break that many trees down. So, and we're lazy. We're tired and we're old.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. Anyway, okay, get going.
Okay.
That's a decent start, but we need a few more loads.
Pretty comfy.
Ah, good shelter.
Yeah.
Fire's gonna be right in front of us. Hurry! Hurry! Oh, it's a good one. Right at the hole. Ah! It was a good fish too. Damn it. Brutal. Oh, that was the one that got away. That would have made my day. Made my day. It was about a pound fish. It was a good sized fish. I had it right at the hole. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but it, I almost had it with my hand. That's how close I had it. But anyway, the bell worked. We heard it in the woods for a while, so I thought it was well hooked. But I guess not quite, not enough. Keep the line out, it's all reset now, so as you say, it might come back, but it probably won't. But we may get another one. So our wind is coming from this direction here, and it's blowing into our shelter this way. So the easy and simple way, because gravity's on our side here, is just gonna pile up snow. Real simple. So I'm gonna pile snow up on this side till it's almost full, or full if I can manage. I'm gonna need a lot of snow because it likes to pack down and sinter. But yeah, we're gonna fill this side in because it's the wind side, and then we should be nice and snug in there. Courtney, do you want to do this?
Sure, Chris.
All right, I'll go cut some wood. I have an idea. Let's jam our waste cedar in there. Snow will tend not to fall back inside as much. You know, when you pile a snowbank, it wants to flow in both sides. And over time, it'll harden up. And as we get our fire going, it's going to harden up too. It's interesting, as you make a shelter, it becomes less camera worthy, because then it just starts to look like natural pile of snow or a natural pile of twigs. But I can assure you the inside is nice and comfy, even though the outside looks more natural than man-made. But that's what you get when you're using natural products. 100% biodegradable. It's gonna be back in the earth, come back in 2 or 3 years, you won't even notice we did anything. And that's a fact, because I've made these before. So I've just laid down some boards down here, some logs, and I've got some birch bark here. I've got my bow drill. I am not totally expecting to be successful with my bow drill. We have 2 other sources of fire. I have a lighter, and I also have a fire steel. But I am going to try to get myself an ember as a goal. I probably won't be able to blow it into flames. I mean, I could if that's all I wanted to do for the rest of today, but I don't. So if this doesn't go, I'm going to probably just use the lighter, because this thing is solid as a rock now. So it's not edible in this condition, and it's going to take a long time to thaw out, which is, you know, part of the reason why animals don't do so well in the wild, because they have to deal with this. And how do they defrost an animal? I mean, how do you eat an animal that's totally frozen? So you can see the problem with you know, predators, top predators like wolves and foxes, where they have to eat the animal right away, or spend weeks picking away at it. But humans have fire, and we can eat animals that are cold like this, but we do have a limited time. So I'm going to try to make myself an ember, and I'm going to call that a success. If I can blow it into flame, I'll say I'm a master. And we'll see about this. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if I can cook this. I'm having my doubts now. You have tinder?
Yeah.
So we have some tinder that I saved. It's a bundle of cedar, and that's been kept dry and warm in Courtney's pocket, and it actually feels a little damp. So anyway, that's a bunch of shavings, cedar shavings, and I have some birch bark mixed in there. So we'll use half of that. You can keep that dry. I've done a complete bow drill set build, so if you want to go back and look at that, I would advise you do. It's under the bone marrow video. These are not ideal conditions to be doing bow drill fire. I was just cursing the fact that I didn't bring my good top board with me. My bearing block. Let's see what this does. Probably going to twist out all over me. Keep that. Hey, so we made some smoke. Yay, smoke. So you're gonna make our triangle cut in. Do you wish we caught that fish?
Yep. Sure do.
Me too. How long do you think this is gonna take to defrost?
Oh, a couple of hours at least. Be very hungry by then.
We might be going hungry on our survival challenge because we have a frozen hare. I'm only trying this once. If it doesn't work, I'm going to use a lighter. For no shame, because I packed 3 lighters. Because if you're going to do a survival challenge, or you're going to go outdoors, you should be prepared. You could never get a bow drill fire going in the open. If you really needed one, you could never do it. A little bit of birch bark for a catch. There's no rush before you start. Not much of a rush after too, as long as you don't get doused with this.
Oh.
Then you're screwed. Because it's gonna land on your ember and kill it. I'm gonna sharpen this up again. Probably not enough. We have some dust in there. It's worth protecting. And we're going to sharpen up the tip again to reduce the friction at the top end. Okay, here's my one chance. Got dust there. We are going to start off slow and then we're going to go for broke, and we're going to hopefully not pop out our top board again. Make sure it's nice and locked in here. We got a coal. We can't let it blow out. Got the tinder ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep the video rolling so you can see it at the risk of losing my ember by screwing around. So camera's rolling. Get off the tripod. So there's proof. Now what we're going to do is we're going to protect this. I'm going to trade. I need the whole thing, Courtney. Okay, here. Okay, camera's still rolling. Okay, we're going to get a gust of wind here. So we're going to protect it. You see?
Yeah.
Okay, you see the coal? See how it's going more? Good? See how red it is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's get the knife. Okay, so look at that coal. Look at that go. Woo! Okay, so carefully we're going to move this into our tinder bundle. Look at that coal go. Beauty coal. Look at it. Okay, so now we got to do this real carefully. Okay, I got too much in here. I had to get just the top one. Okay. I'm just going to drop it in there. Let it settle down. We want it to keep in a clump. Okay, so a little careful of the wind every time it picks up. Okay. And when it goes, I'm going to put it in here. Okay. You good?
Yeah.
My backlit? Okay.
Beautiful.
Fire! We have fire!
Woo!
There we go. Ah! Aye, aye. I'm such a fancy YouTuber. Get it done! Get it done! Now, we're not screwing around here. We are going to go big fire. In case we get a gust of wind. Thanks, Courtney, for grabbing excessive amounts of kindling.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh yeah! Too bad my trout's in the lake still. I didn't think I was gonna do that. I'm impressed myself. Yes! Yes! Woohoo! Yeah! Oh man, that's a great one. Woo! Check it out! These fish are splake. It's a cross between a brook and a lake trout. You get the qualities of both. You get the quality of a laker and the quality of a brook trout or a speckled trout. It's splake. Oh, he swallowed it real good. Oh. You gotta be real careful when you get your hands wet like this. Get them washed off. I'll show you guys. Check that guy out. Check it out. Beauty. That's gonna be good. And I gotta clean this off before it freezes solid like that hare. Geez, I don't know if I'm eating that hare anymore. This is what I'm eating. Yes! Woo! Check it out!
Oh, it's a good one!
I'm gonna eat trout!
I heard you get it! Oh, oh beautiful.
Hold it.
No!
Here.
No!
You want to become trout?
Mm.
You have to eat it to become it. You gonna hold it?
I don't want to.
I was joking.
Okay, good.
Alright, let's go throw it on the fire. Well, we still can.
That's so awesome.
Woo!
Well done.
Got the fire going still. Look at that. We can cook ourselves a trout over the grill. Okay, so we are going to cook this. That is an afterthought. I may still do it. You'll have to keep watching and see if we do it.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, so trout.
Awesome, Peppa.
Real easy to clean. Up and out. Up the middle. Out the front. Simple peasy, easy peasy, simple peasy. You laughing at me?
Not even a word.
Alright, so we are going to take the gills out without taking the head off. It's the best part, as we know. Whew, getting all hot in here. It's getting hot in the kitchen. Okay, gill plates out. So all I'm going to do is find a stick and I'm going to skewer it and cook it over the fire like that. There we go. That's all we need. A little stick like that. We're going to thread the fish up in there and put it over the fire and cook it like that. Trout. And we're going to go to the head. And we're going to find a spot in the back muscle tissue. If I can hang on to this slimy fish. And we're just going right along the back into the muscle. And we want to keep it as far back as we can without coming out of the skin. And see, I'm through the mouth because we don't want the fish to fall off, obviously. How's your face?
Slimy.
How's your face doing? You like fish.
Once it's cooked.
Okay, open the spice up. On the inside there.
Oh, that's loads.
Okay, stop then. If there's a bunch, you see there's a bunch in there. Sort of see. I'm just going to spread that around. Good. And the other outside. And all we're going to do is hang this over the fire just to the point where you can't keep your hand there for longer than 5 seconds. That's the cooking height. So you put your hand over the fire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ha, too hot. That's exactly the height you want. And it's going to slow cook. Fish on a stick.
Yum.
What do you think?
Good.
Yeah? Alright.
We'll see. I'm sure it'll be good.
It's good smoked like this. Really good. Perfect. Gonna make some cedar tea, so I need some water. Now you have some options when you're gonna get water. For starters, you could just eat the snow. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with eating a handful of snow. Gonna cool you down a little bit because it's cold. But you can eat it. As long as you're moving and active, you're not gonna get hypothermia. Now, it is a lot windier out here. That's the next thing. If you wanna get out of the cold, get in the bush. It's significantly different in the bush. And we're in such a fashion that the wind is crosswise. So that's one thing. So your options as far as getting water, snow. Problem is, snow is almost 100% air. So if you filled it and packed it, you'd be all right, but you got to get all that air out, and air is an insulator. So you put it on the fire and you wait for 2 hours or an hour or something like that. I'm exaggerating, but I mean, the point's the same. You got to bring that to temperature, and you got to get rid of the insulative properties of the snow. So we don't use snow. What we use is lake water. Now, if your lake's not pure, I would use snow. But our lakes in Canada are really pure, to the point where you could probably drink that right out of the lake. Although it's going to be cold, and you know, there could be some parasites in it. But in the wintertime, I'd say it's pretty slim chance that you would have any parasites in there. Still, to be, that's not a fish, that was my hat. To be safe, I always boil my water. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of the slush, grab myself a nice big pot of water, like that, bring it back to the fire, boil it. I think we'll make some cedar tea. I'll throw some cedar boughs in there and make a tea and see how my wife likes it. Tell me about your jacket.
This is my mother-in-law's, circa 1983, she figures. Made in Canada, incredibly warm. It's got wool. First layer. It's got all these cool Eskimo embroidery.
Is it made in Canada too?
Yeah, made in Canada. So's Chris's wicked snowsuit. Circa 1990, maybe.
And you got,
There's some on the back.
you got full snow pants. Like to stay warm today, what'd you wear?
Oh,
How many layers do you have on?
lots.
You wear full long john?
I have tights, I have a tank top, I have a shirt, a hoodie, and then the jacket. Good scarf that my mom knit. And then sweet snow pants with a bib that my wonderful husband bought me for Christmas.
Bib all the way up, that's important.
Yeah. It's got some really nice features, good pockets. Unzips all the way up.
So full length jacket, full bib. Yeah, and you're warm?
I'm warm.
And so any advice for girls who want to go out?
Lots of layers. Fur's nice, but not necessary.
Yeah, that's real fur probably.
Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah. Get good boots. My boots are okay.
Those are too tight. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Have loose fitting boot, not fashion. They can't be fashionable. Same with all the other clothes. They have to be bulky to chop air.
Well, my boots are rated to -30, but or even -40. I got good boots, but I'm still a little bit cold.
But it's not -30 today.
No, it's not.
And you're cold.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
But away from the fire.
Right.
The cedar tea, all you do is grab a bunch of these. You never know how much. Depends how strong you want it to be. And that's it. Shove that in your water and boil it. Or you can boil your water first and let it steep. I'm going to do this way because I'm lazy. So, there you go. Just throw that in there. Might add a little bit more than that, but it's probably plenty. Easy.
Lovely.
Trout on the stick. Oh, it's beautiful. In here.
Nice, eh?
Very
It's
nice.
just like home.
Like home. Oh, it's gonna be a plate. The lid's gonna be the plate. There you go.
Gourmet.
Trout off a stick. A raven came to visit for dinner, I guess. I need a stir stick, bushcrafted that. Ever had cedar tea before?
I believe I have.
We don't have a cup, so we're going to use the other pot. There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You want to wait a little bit, it's a little hot. Have a trout. I caught it myself. I caught you a delicious trout.
Can you give me a piece?
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to just bite off from the whole animal.
I do. I want to eat this whole thing. You get the, you don't eat the, you know, fins. Really? I gotta feed you too?
That'd be nice.
Okay. Here.
Oh.
Here you go. If it's gross, say it's good.
It's good.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It actually is good.
Yep, it's good. Is it cooked all the way?
I don't care. I prefer it actually if it's like a little bit under than over. It's probably a little under.
Oh, looks it.
Here. That's the good part. That's like that's the well done part.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's the skin.
You just gave me sushi. Look at that.
Yeah, but it's good sushi. I can't put it back on now. Well, I could. we eat the mostly done parts. It's tricky cooking over an open fire. Here, this is done.
Okay. Trade? Thanks.
You don't want to dry out your fish. It's disgusting if it's dried out. Okay, that's a good piece there.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. No, it's good.
Yeah, it is good.
And it's well cooked.
That part?
Uh-huh.
That's what it looks like there. The skin is like perfect. You eat the skin?
Am I?
Of course. You always eat the skin.
You forgot a fin.
Eat the fin too.
Okay, that's good.
Of course it's good. The skin is totally edible. There's no scales on a trout. Well, this size trout, you don't worry about them. A rainbow you probably would scale, but these ones are edible just like that. That's where fat is. There's the eye. Oh, lost it. Which is pretty standard for me. There you go, a little eyeball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta eat the whole fish in survival. Don't waste anything. Except the bones. You want some more?
Sure.
You get hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll turn that camera off. And I'll show you when I'm done that this entire thing will be stripped completely. Because we didn't fillet it, there's going to be absolutely zero waste. There's our cedar tea. And I had a little taste. It tastes like cedar tea. Tastes like cedar tree. It tastes like a cedar tree smells. It's alright?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, it's high in vitamin C, just so you know.
Mm.
So you won't get scurvy now.
Perfect.
You're surviving.
I was worried.
You're surviving now. You impressed with your shelter?
Mm-hmm.
You did a good job?
Yep. It's pretty warm in here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rock face here?
Yeah. I feel safe.
Till an animal comes out of the crack.
And then you kill it and we eat it. It's all good.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So any better job than that, you risk pulling the bones out. Like you can pull a piece of meat like that off. And I would. And I will, I should say. But as you pick them off, those little bones come out. So that's probably when I would start to I would quit, is when I get more bone than meat. So you can pretty much eat an entire trout. So that fish, all I'm doing is cooking it, you know, until it's done. So stop complaining. Complaining that I don't cook it. All right, so the comment section over the last few months have really improved. So thank you guys for leaving nice comments. There's a couple comments, and I'd like to point out. Some people wanted to do some shout outs. So Courtney will do a father-daughter shout out. Don't laugh. I'm not good at doing it like this. Anyway, so Courtney's going to do the shout out for the father-daughter one, and I'm going to do a father-son one.
So Chet P says, my daughter and I love watching your vids. We're looking forward to trying your strawberry and corn gruel. We are also going to try the squirrel. Thank you again, Chet and Haley. Hey, Haley.
And Brent Stallings writes, Beardsman, my son and I love your videos. We are considering doing a survival challenge in South Texas. I don't know if you do shout outs. This is the first. Consider yourselves lucky. But if you do, mention my son Nolan. He will be ecstatic. Hi, Nolan.
Hi, Nolan.
How's it going, buddy? So, guys, keep watching. Courtney, you going to come back out for another one? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was fun.
Are you sure you enjoyed yourself? Or are you just saying that?
I'd do it again in a year.
Yeah, it's not your style of fun, but thanks for coming out.
You're welcome.
And thanks, guys, for watching. Maybe we'll do another one. If you liked it, let us know. And maybe you can encourage Courtney to come out if you enjoyed her company. Cheers, guys.
Okay, girls, you want to know how to pee in the woods? It's the worst part of being out here. I hold my pee as long as I can. You want to be armed with as much toilet paper as possible. Take the whole roll. You don't want to have to go back and walk away from camp, far, far away. And you want to try and be on a bit of a hill. That's always helpful. And then face up the hill. Okay. My new snow pants are amazing. They have this great feature. Let me show you if I can find it. There. Yeah, check out that. But if you don't have that, you just have to pull your snow pants down, pull everything else down, around your ankles, squat.
Show me how you pull it down to your ankles. Because people don't know, like girls don't know that. They go like how, because you don't want to pee on your pants.
No, you don't want to pee on your pants.
So how do you pee without peeing on your pants?
And this is why you avoid it. So, all the way down. Down, down, down.
But you stop at your knee. You don't go
Here.
all the way down. You stop at your knee.
Then you have to like bunch it, right?
You bunch it.
Bunch it there.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
you got to
Is
go.
that graphic enough?
Well, it's not. No, people need to know. And then go ahead, and then all the way down.
All the way down.
Okay, you bunch it up all the way down, and then you squat all the way down. Then you pull. Use your hands. Show me. You're using your hands to bunch it up.
Yeah. I've
and
got
you pull it forward.
Right.
Okay, good.
And then you squat.
Then you squat. There you go.
And there goes my dignity.
There goes your. No, you
Okay.
still have all your dignity. You're helping young girls still go out in the woods because they don't know how to do that. I mean,
Right.
if they're out with their dads don't know what to tell them.
Yeah,
Right.
so don't drink hot chocolate, even if you're really cold.
No, you need to drink fluids, especially at cold temperatures. You just have
I'm
to
not
be
a
ready.
survivalist. I just don't want to pee in the woods.
Yeah, but you have peed in the woods enough times
I
to know how to
have,
do it.
lots of times.
And I had to figure out how to do it for you because the only time I need to do that is when I poo in the woods. Which is very
okay.
rarely.
And this is where we edit way
Because,
before that.
because you can drink all you want, but you know, you can stifle your number 2. You can't stifle your number 1. When you gotta go, you go.
Okay.
All right, good
I'm
enough.
frozen. Coat back on.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay, you're welcome.
And I'm sure all the girls watching appreciate it.
Wonderful.
All right, guys, made it out alive. I'm back at my house, my mom's house, I should say. She's got the Christmas lights and Christmas music fired up. I'm gonna use a street light here for some lighting. Part of being responsible as a man is making sure that your wife doesn't die out in the wilderness. And it's cold. It's like minus 20 Celsius cold. Brutal. So I wasn't about to make her stay overnight. It was a bit of a ruse. Sorry, guys. I never intended to actually stay overnight. But, you know, as survival challenge goes, it was pretty good. It's about as much as you can expect from my wife, who's not a very outdoorsy person. And to make her even come outside in the winter is a tricky proposition. So if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a comment down below. If you want my wife to go on another survival challenge like this, please be respectful. Leave her lots of comments, some thumbs up and encouragement, and maybe she will. So anyway, I'm going to show you the lights that my mom's got going. She's got the little Griswold family deal going on here. These Christmas lights are on every night, all winter long, and the music plays, timed with the music, all the way till 11 p.m. So swing by and have a peek. Cheers, guys. Pretty cozy in here?
Yep.
Yeah. I've been tooting all day.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Enjoying the warmth.
It's so far away.
Did you get boogers?
Oh my goodness.
My nose is drippy.
It's not glamorous out here.
My nose is always drippy. The hair on the left side of the frame is a nice touch. Maybe the right, I can't tell which way your perspective is over there.
Not again.
Alright, that's silly.
Yeah, I'd say.
I should turn the camera off now.
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye!
We survived! That's not an outtake. We're gonna roll with it. I gotta say, the comment section has really improved over the years. Well.
Stop
yeah.
it.
Alright, look. What are you laughing for?
All the years.
All the years.